If you lose your hands, you may be declared disabled.
Permanently disabled.
So ordinarily, how much WIBA pays is equivalent to 8 years of your annual salary. Meaning that if you are earning 50,000, yes, times 12 months, that is annual, this is 600,000. So WIBA pays
Hi everyone, I hope this video finds you well. My name is Martin in case you're here for the first time. Na sisi ni watu wa insurance. We do civic education as well as reviews on insurance, especially within the Kenyan market. We are super excited to have this conversation today. It's a continuation of what we always do best, educating you. We understand that most people buy insurance or maybe intend to buy insurance, but what is missing is information. We don't want you to be frustrated at the point where you want to make a claim because you didn't have information when you are buying. So our business is one, to help you understand insurance better, because when you know better, you'll be able to manage your expectations when you are, especially in the process of claiming or you want service from the insurance companies. Now in today's conversation, we want to touch on a very important subject, and I hope you have watched that video. We have done a video on WIBA, that is work injury benefit. It's a cover that is normally bought by employers, which covers employees against risks that comes when maybe you are engaged in that work and maybe something happens to you that is kind of exposes you health wise, so you are covered. So you are there, you are employed, know that you are covered. Okay, so today we want to touch on what is the process like for someone who has maybe been injured from maybe their workplace and they want to claim. We had someone shared their experience, alipoteza vidole zake zote, and it's been a while, so na hakuwaijua ati they are covered.
Okay.
So even when the company was paying for their medication, alikuwa anaona kama ni favor. In fact, the company has been paying so my hospital bills na nini.
Right.
So yeye hajui ni right yake kukua kukua kilipiwa or even to be paid. So when we were having that discussion, nikamwambia you have something called WIBA, which means you are covered, and if the company did not have a WIBA, they are obligated to pay you because it's a mandatory cover. Ni kama tulisema ni kama third party. So let us walk through the process, how it looks, and probably you can help us, for those who are watching this video for the first time, to understand what is WIBA. Sindio?
Yeah, sure.
Karibu sana Bwana Mwai, utupeleke pole pole.
All right. Thank you Martin.
Yes.
And to our guys. Welcome to this wonderful channel. We just want to educate you so that even as you make decisions, they will be a good decisions.
Yes.
So today we are reviewing on a subject we've really dealt with before, and it's about WIBA. And one thing is that WIBA is a third party cover for every employer. Just like every rider on the road must have a third party cover,
the minimum third party.
Yeah. The cover that is also treated as third party for every employer is what we call Work Injury Benefit Act or Benefit Authority. So what basically it does is that it helps employee as they work to feel safe. Or it's part of what we call the occupational safety measures, so that if something happens to this employee, the employer does not have to worry. But sometimes they take it as an expense. I'll tell you this. A lot of employers think that it's a favor they would be doing to their employees, but it can be very expensive. I must tell you this. Basically what WIBA does, it covers three major things. One is it covers death as they work. Number two, it covers disability. It also covers occupational illnesses. And finally, the employer may also put some element of last expense, that in the event of, God forbid, death of the employee, before this particular benefit is paid, the burial would be sorted. But I must tell you this, that the cover is not really for the employee. Our principal client here is the employer. So it is the employer who claims, it is not the employees who claims from the insurance. Because the employee is like a third party here. Our main customer here is the employer. So the employer does this to achieve three things. Number one is to protect himself from legal liabilities. Remember, it's very expensive to run court battles with your employees, especially if you get involved in 2 or 3 events of that kind. Number 2 benefit is you want to motivate your staff. In such a way that these employees feel safe as they work for you, or they are guaranteed that even if something happens to me when or while I'm working for you, my family does not really have to suffer for me sacrificing for you. And thirdly, the most important benefit is a moral obligation for the employer. So what we say is this: you could be having a staff who've worked probably for 10 years in that same institution. Something happening to them, like a disability, out of working for you, you may not really tell them go home.
Yes.
Or if death comes, you may not go tell the family members, I'm sorry, that this happened to your family member. So it's more of an obligation morally, because you want also, you are human. Let us agree on that. So fast forward, now that we have said that it is a mandatory cover,
it's an equivalent of that party for a vehicle.
Yes, it's a mandatory cover for every employer. And employer here we mean minimum 2 members.
So when you mean 2 members,
yes,
does it have kind of, would I say, a classification of what type of work? Or maybe mtu ako na msichana wa kazi na ako na gardener.
Yeah,
is that what we mean by 2 employers?
Yeah,
employees.
No, we are talking of you as the first employee. The director is an employee. Yes. And 1 more person. That is 2. 2 people. So you being a founder or a director of this, you are not excluded. You are part of this, so you also benefit if something happens. Yeah. So it's an important question you have asked of if you have a gardener or we are talking
manager.
It's generally because you really want to give good care to your guys. That is why you give this particular cover. So I've said, number 1, it's a mandatory cover to have, and most importantly, for you to be called an employer, it means you have just 1 more, you and another 1 person. So then we want to present 2 scenarios: when you have it
and when you don't.
When you don't have it. When you have it, it is very simple. You just fill in a claim form as an employer, because we said that our principal client here is the employer. So you fill in a claim form, and basically the person who gave you that cover can guide you on how to claim. Now that becomes very easy, because you already have, even if you are to be sued, at least you have something in place to protect you against the legal liabilities. But let's look at this person who have no idea that something like this exists, because we have a very huge number of employers who don't have a WIBA cover for their staff. So if something happens and possibly you have an employee A, he loses his maybe hands, yeah, or he loses his head, yes, or he loses his feet. Those are 3 scenarios. So for this, if you lose your hands, you may be declared disabled,
permanently disabled.
Similarly, when something like feet, you lose your feet, you are disabled. So ordinarily, how much WIBA pays is equivalent to 8 years of your annual salary. Meaning that if you are earning 50,000, yes, times 12 months, that is annual, this is 600,000. So WIBA pays 8 years of 600,000. You can imagine 8 years of 600,000, that is 4.8 million. So if you didn't have the WIBA cover, unfortunately you will have to foot this as your...
That is what I wanted to ask.
Yes.
Assuming this employee is informed,
yeah,
and they decide to go the legal way.
The legal way, this is how much they can claim. Yes, if they are either disabled permanently or the unfortunately death occurs, because we have seen situation when someone collapses in your workplace, and then you start issuing some statement kwa media, sijui he was sick. Remember, as long as that person has died inside your workplace, my brother, there is no way of there is no escape. That one I can tell you for sure. If they decide to pursue it, number one question you'll be asked by court, present us with your WIBA. There's no discussion, because we said it is an equivalent of a third party, and you cannot go on the road without a third party cover as long as you are a driver. So this one is the equivalent of that. So if you becomes disabled permanently, or you die, that is the much you are liable to pay.
And I maybe you can correct me. 4.8 million is the minimum, because maybe the family can maybe decide to like have other expenses.
Yeah,
on
sure,
top.
sure. The legal liabilities may also be put on you. Yeah, remember, before maybe that person dies, he could have gone to a hospital. There were some medical bills, so you'll have to pay medical expenses on top. So that is why it is very important to consider this cover, because it's just that majority of our people don't know that your employer ought to have this. Yeah, so it is very easy for you. If something like that has happened, you just need to report, just like the way you claim for a motor vehicle. You go, you report, and then you start you present that to your wakili. You can choose someone to represent you as a wakili, and then from there wakili understands that part of the journey better than we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's someone probably could be watching this video and they think of something that happened 4 months ago, 5 months ago. Are there timelines? Maybe something happened maybe 1 year ago. Nasema hii nimesikia information, acha nikimbie tu nini.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Because for you never knew that the employer had ought to have compensated you. Yeah, and if you feel he just catered for part of your expenses and you are not satisfied, you can go seek legal redress. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So maybe for someone who has a business and they have employed, they are thinking this could be very expensive.
Yeah.
How affordable, or maybe how accessible is this cover?
I can tell you, if there is you know, we said that it's an equivalent of a third party, and basically we know how much a third party costs. So believe you me, it's as cheap as a third party cover, and you have no reason. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you have no reason to kind of not buy this for your employees. And I want to give you a recently concluded process. We were doing some biddings for an institution that had around 60 staffs. 60 staff, and the sum assured was coming to around 12 million. Not 12 million. It was quite a substantial amount. But someone with a staff numbered 60, you can imagine what kind of a business is that.
Yes.
And guess how much that cost? 215,000
for 60 staff.
for 60 staff.
So anything that happens to their staff,
Yeah,
they are fully covered.
they are fully covered. That is why it is important. It's cheap, but what we can do is we can you can ask for a quotation from us. We can present you different companies we see, and you are able to compare and see what works best for you. Yeah, so we are here to assist you. And I've said, as long as you have more than one, that is enough to do a WIBA cover.
So this is a question of compliance.
Yeah, it's a question.
It's not a question of if you want or you don't want. It's a compliance thing.
Yes, it's a compliance thing. So we are here to help. If you feel you would like to have a look at what possibly you can pay, just call that number which we have posted.
Numbers are running on the screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that we can be able to advise, even depending with your institution's size. Yeah.
Wow. So that is why we always recommend that you turn on the notification bell. You can imagine missing this information and you are an employer.
Yeah.
So it's good that you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, so that every time we put out these kind of videos, you'll be notified. You not miss either of our videos.
Absolutely.
So I hope we give you value for your time, and in case you are there, you have a question, not necessarily on WIBA, but on something else. We talked about GPE, that is group personal accident, for not permanently employed, for contractuals.
Yeah. For people who possibly work for
temporary basis.
the casuals, people who works for 1 month and then you replace them with, for example, construction sites.
Yes.
Those people,
they are not permanent.
They are not permanent. So
Yes.
the best plan for them, alternative to WIBA, is called GPA, group personal accident. We can equally share a quote, and if you want us to do a video for the same, which I believe we
have done, but I think we can do.
But we can do specifically for GPA, so that you can get to understand more on that particular subject.
Because there are also legal implications. If someone works for you even on a casual basis, and maybe they get an accident in your workplace, they're also obligated to be paid.
Yeah,
so you need to cover yourself.
Yeah.
So I hope we gave you value for your time, and we are expecting to see more of your questions in the comment section below. So make sure that you type in a question touching on insurance, and we'll be able to do a detailed video for you. And we hope to see you in the next one. But until then, God bless you, and bye bye.